Hey guys, Dan here with Dan's In-Body Experience. Well, check out that. Showed you some other videos about the Radio Museum in Huntington. Got a couple more to throw out there. It's kind of neat stuff. For instance, I didn't know some of the old radios were made out of Bakelite instead of plastic. Never even heard of Bakelite before. And he was showing me how some of it was used as furniture, not Bakelite, but radios and different things. We just follow me along here and we'll just let him explain it to us. Check it out.
What you was doing is you was buying a piece of furniture, a very expensive cabinet with a nice radio in it.
Yeah.
Like I say, just about everything inside these things. Push button, so you wouldn't have to do this. You just, there you are on station. I know what's over here. Anything? Nothing? This probably raises up. I'm not going to do that. There's the speakers, yeah. I'm going to push this little button, and you're going to listen to somebody else talk for a few minutes.
After radio broadcasting was perfected in the 1920s, the market for home radio sets exploded. And who stepped in to meet the demand? It was the furniture makers. The beautiful wooden cabinets you see in this hallway were made by hundreds of large and small shops. The electronics inside were often very similar. They were usually super heterodyne AM receivers with single knob tuning and 6 or 8 tubes. But the variety and handsomeness of these radios virtually assured their honored place in American homes.
Grandfather or grandmother clock.
I am Howard Monroe for the Museum of Radio and Technology. Some comedians back in those days
beautiful.
joked
Oh my,
about
that thing's just,
furniture that talks.
that's fresh.
That's
But
fantastic,
one of
isn't
these
it?
sets
Has that been
was
restored?
often the most expensive and
I don't know.
prominent
Look at the
piece of
sheen on
furniture
that thing.
in a person's home.
Wow.
Look
That
here.
looks
It
like
may have come here
This is
exactly like
fine.
that.
Yeah.
It may have been cleaned up a little.
All solid wood, with rich inlays and machine carving and lustrous shellac finishes. The one on the end, nearest the 1920s room, belonged to the wealthy Wrigley chewing gum family.
That's the one I showed you a while
It
ago.
cost almost $900 in 1927, and that's $12,000
a lamp.
in
Is that a
today's
lamp?
money.
No.
Toward the other end of the hall is a beautiful Philco from 1938
So
that had
remote
belonged
control
to a
over
rich
this radio.
banker in
Oh,
Montgomery,
my
West
goodness.
Virginia.
Huh.
Now that
Remote
one
control.
is technically very advanced as well, although the same meters also came in a somewhat less impressive box.
These are the two
Just
we're
for
talking
people
about.
ready to spend the equivalent of 7,000 modern dollars during the Depression.
Yeah.
And opposite these Philcos is a wartime compromise. During World War II, all factories were busy making war materials like jeeps and aircraft. Food was rationed. So were tires and gasoline and shoes. Attractive home radio sets just weren't being built. But there were leftover car radios, not needed in the jeeps and tanks. So one entrepreneur built a wooden case and stuck a car radio with a power supply inside.
Correct. This one
That's
is.
what you could buy for your living
That's
room in
funny.
1943.
Huh.
For more than 20 years, families
They didn't make cars
gathered
in
around
43,
these
right? It's
glowing
43 when they didn't
wooden
make
cabinets
cars.
for
Everything was
music and
dedicated
comedy,
for war effort.
and
So
drama.
they didn't make the radios, they didn't make the cars, they just had a surplus of these on the shelves in the warehouse.
and more prosperity.
We can do
And a
that.
Belgian scientist named Leo Bakelite who changed the look of radio. We'll meet him in the 40s and 50s room. Thanks for visiting. I'm Howard Monroe. Oh, and by the way, be sure to check out our gift shop while you're taking the tour. It's right in the middle of the hallway.
So you've seen the old clock radio or grandfather radio, and you've seen the arch top. You've seen the consoles, obviously, in the whole consoles here, and you've seen the arch top type of cathedral radios. These are called tombstone radios.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
And this would just be called a tabletop radio. So there's, yeah.
Man,
and,
that's
and
pretty,
these,
isn't
the nice thing about these was, this, even though the speakers are smaller, basically, see the dial? Remember some of those dials down the hall? You had the same radio, just in a smaller cabinet. And they weren't really cheap, but they were affordable. Common folks could have these, you know, if they wanted to buy a radio. This is what the common folks would get, you might say. Dave's been inside the jukebox.
Oh, a jukebox. That was cool.
Yeah. Somebody's been in the jukebox. No records. Old record changer.
What year's this building? What's the theme on this room we're in there?
This is the 40s.
40s?
This is around 40. And a little later, this piece right here is kind of a curiosity because there's actually no
Which
name
piece?
on it. I'm leaning on it.
Oh, this big thing. Okay, yeah.
This is a complete home entertainment system. And one of the fellows says it was made by RCA, and another fellow says no, it was made by somebody, but it was sold through Sears Silvertone. But there's nothing on here to indicate
No numbers or
where it really
nothing.
came from. So you have this nice radio, push button. You got a changer, okay, not just a play, but a changer. Then you have this. This has a clock on it, so you can go around
Was
here.
this in it?
This was
The
it.
silver. This don't tell you nothing then.
That does say Silvertone.
Yeah.
But that's
Is that RCA?
because of this. No,
Okay,
that was Sears' brand name. This doesn't say anything on it.
I got you.
Okay.
You mean
This is a timer, so you can set this to start and stop whenever you wanted it to. So that way you wouldn't miss your favorite radio show.
really?
It's a recorder and records
Really?
on this. This is like a bad day here. Yeah, but it records on. Can you see that little fine wire?
Yeah.
That's what it's
This
a
is
wire
40s.
recorder.
This is in the 40s.
Right. So there is a forerunner of the tape recorder.
It's amazing, isn't it?
So we got some portable radios here. Everybody's seen portable radios, but this thing's kind of
What?
unusual. Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Record player.
There was such thing.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned Bakelite developing this material called Bakelite, which is a forerunner of plastic. And sort of like the Model Ts, Henry Ford said you could have a Model T in any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah, yeah.
Bakelite did give you a choice. You could have black or brown.
Which
you-
ones? Which ones?
Black
That one?
or brown.
That one. Okay.
And this is also Bakelite,
So this is
but it's painted.
This is a form of a forerunner of plastic.
Forerunner of plastic.
Is it just like plastic?
No, it's much more brittle, and it gets brittle with age.
Oh.
So if you drop something against it,
Yeah.
or you drop it,
Which
you know,
plastic
it's a
does get
million
brittle with
pieces.
age,
It's hard to
yeah.
put back together because adhesives don't work well on it. most
Both
of
of
the-
these are that Bakelite. Bakelite.
Yep.
What's it made out of?
Bakelite.
What I mean, what is Bakelite?
It's sort of a resin type thing. Now this, I can't remember the name. This is not Bakelite, nor is it plastic. This is between the two.
Oh my goodness.
This used to be white.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It faded
This
back.
used to be brown, but it changes naturally over time.
That's something, isn't it?
So are these other ones here. Whatever this material is.
Oh, what in the world? That's neat.
I've got to learn that. But it did not look like that originally. It was.
Did
all
it have the
one color.
different
No, it was
textures?
All one color.
Oh, it was all one
solid tone.
That's kind of cool, though. That's kind of cool.
Again, the
huh?
Silvertone name is the Sears brand. Of course, Sears never made anything. They just,
Sold it.
yeah, they sold it with their brand name. These were used in offices. These were used as just recording systems for office. You know, so later on, secretary could type up whatever you wanted. And this little place right in here is set up to look like a department store display.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
good job of it, too.
We came from a radio shop to now we're in a department store. And you can see on the earlier, well, that's not a real early TV.
It's pretty early,
Yeah.
ain't it?
Round picture tube.
Yeah, that's neat.
This is a radio record player. This time you slid the record right into the disc.
That's weird, isn't it?
That's a little different.
How'd the needle keep? The needle just stayed up while this door's open? And then when you shut the needle down?
Yeah, I don't know what the mechanism was, if you shut the door and that let the needle down or what, but anyway,
That's neat.
yeah. Another Bakelite radio right there.
And this place has been here for 25 years.
Bakelite lowered the cost of the radios because you can see all these radios were wooden,
Yeah.
which were more expensive to build. Bakelite could be molded, and it was. It's injection molded, so they were cheaper. This right here is a jewel. Shortwave radio was a big thing. Listening to countries across the ocean
Really?
was a big thing. Okay, so this was a Zenith transatlantic receiver, and this is still favored, a very good receiver to this day. If you can snatch a hold of one of them somewhere. All clever types of cabinetry there.
That favors an old 60s model radio in a car, don't it?
Yeah.
You ever seen
But
like this?
the look,
late
Paris,
60s?
Berlin, Japan, London.
Really?
Again, this is another shortwave.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
These old ads you got's cool.
Yeah. Philco is a big name in radios. When I was learning how to repair things, people were still bringing in Philco radios. They were all passing off the scene. There he is again.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
There's old Nipper. And to get into plastic radios and say, why do you have plastic radios? These things were a dime a dozen, and actually they were. And the reason we have these is because they're still in good shape.
And you don't see them no more.
But these usually sit right beside the bed, okay? And if people smoked, they didn't use the ashtray. They put the cigarettes on top of this because these were considered disposable, so what the heck, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to find them without burns and things on top of it.
Motorola.
All right, everybody. I really appreciate you guys walking through this thing with me, whoever made it through it, and listen to this fella and learn some stuff with me. And hope you guys come back again and check me out. Please like, subscribe, and share. And this vlog is done.